welcome to the official YouTube channel for Santa J Claus. Be sure to subscribe for new content and comment below to introduce yourself. May the magic of Christmas brighten your days all year long.
Well, hello there, my friends. Hello there, and happy day to you. I'm wishing you all good things. Welcome, my friends, to the Art Livestreamy. I'm so very happy that you're here today. I'm wishing you all good things. Today it is painting inspiring individuals from A to Z. And today is the letter D. Who shall we pick? Well, we've picked resoundingly, my friends, Dolly Parton. There are quite so very many individuals that are truly inspiring to many of you with the letter D. But I think, my friends, we're going with Dolly Parton, someone that I also find quite inspiring indeed. I'm wishing you all good things. To everyone joining in, Everett has joined in. Bethany, our wonderful moderator, is here as well. Welcome, welcome, my friend, and wishing you all good things indeed. Now, I would love for each of you, my friends, if you take a moment, find a little fact about Miss Dolly Parton. I would love to be able to learn a little bit more about her today as we begin to do a painting featuring her. Sebastian has joined in. Hello, if you are painting Dolly, can you sing Jolene, please? Jolene, Jolene. Wonderful. Well, my friends, I'm wishing you good things. Shall we begin? Now, I've gone through and I've penciled in with a Faber-Castell pencil. This is the HB, very light, that we can erase later on. But I think that we might not erase this one today. And I will explain later on. But here we are, my friends. We're going to begin. I'm going to record as well. And then we shall start. I would also love if you have any questions that you might like to ask. Well, let me know, my friends. I would love to be able to answer your questions today as well. It's going to be a wonderful day. I hope that you have a good view today. We're going to bring over, let's bring over here. We'll bring over the paint just a little closer if we can. There we are. Now we're starting here with the zebra brush pen. The pencil is not a ballpoint pen, but it's flexible and it can go a little bit thinner and then wider as we put pressure on it as well. But this one here I love to be able to use in doing all of the inking. So we shall start, my friends. And where do we begin? Well, I'm going to leave the face till last. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day, whatever time of day that it might be. I hope that you're also finding ways, my friends, to use your creativity. Which is always quite good. And you know what I'm going to do as well, my friends. Let's see here. We're going to stop this. I want to go over and send over my reference picture, if we can. We'll send it on right on over so that I can have it for later to do the very best job that I can. It's a little bit intimidating, I would say, when you are painting an individual that is so very famous that everyone already knows what they look like. So we have to be careful. We want to do the very best job that we can. Well, hello there, Red. And Soroya, hello there. Barbie is here as well. Welcome. Best wishes to each of you. I hope that you're all staying out of trouble. Always a wonderful thing. I'm going through and just putting a little bit of texture here and there. She's wearing a denim coat. Denim is very unique, a unique thing in how it moves. We will spend a little time on this one today. My poor spectacles keep slipping on me. There we are. And I truly hope, my friends, that you are finding ways to be creative. Well, hello there, hello there. I like that movie, a wonderful movie. Wait a minute, I sounded like Mickey Mouse or Goofy. My goodness. Always, always wonderful to learn different things about different people. We're going to give her here, let's see here. We have some earrings here that we want to do. And she's wearing a scarf as well. Nice flowing scarf around her head. Wonderful. I'm going to move this just to make it a little easier on this line. We have to be careful too. When we are inking, my friends, we have to be careful because the idea of the inking lines, well, they can certainly present as a wrinkle. This is not something we want. So on some of these lines, even though they're there, I think we're going to paint them so that they're just a little bit less than we want. So much hair. We will try our very best. We all know Mr. Scott Sava is so wonderful with hair. Well, I'm just learning, but if I do not try, well, then it will never get any better. But we shall try. We're going to keep going and try our very best. This is all we really can do, my friends. I'm going to move this over just a little bit there. My cat usually isn't very interested in the TV, but she's watching you with me. Wonderful, Cloudy Cat, wonderful. Well, I say hello to your cat. Now, you will hear me talking about Mr. Scott Sava quite a bit. Why is this? Well, Mr. Sava is also quite an inspiring individual and truly has helped me in so very many ways in my own drawing and art. And something that he has told me that has helped me quite a lot is to create our shapes as we are drawing, as we're painting, as we're creating in the hair. There are basic shapes all around. And I will try my best to be able to identify the shapes and make sure that they're quite clear. You'll notice, if you can see in my pencil drawings, I've simplified quite a bit into bigger shapes, like this piece right here, right? We have a piece of hair that is moving all the way through here. It's a whole little swirl, a whole little ribbon of hair. Do you see it? And then we break it down and simplify it just a little bit, where it's coming from, where the shadows might be. Now, I'm not certainly an artist as he is, but I will say that the idea of this truly has helped me. I think this is such a gift, my friends, that we have here, the social medias, that all of us, even I, can go through and learn new things. You can find some of the most important and some of the most knowledgeable professionals in the world on any given subject on the social medias. What a wonderful thing this is. And learning to try new things. I think is so wonderful. So we will try our very best I'm going to go through here and just put in just a little bit of shadows here and there where we might have them. We do not want a whole lot because, well, my friend, she has a very blonde hair. But we're going to put in just a little bit here and there, just to make sure that the hair has a little bit of form to it as well. Where we might find these little shadows hiding here and there. We want to be able to highlight where these are. It does not need to be a whole lot. As I said, her hair is quite light. But we will bring it out, my friends. just to give it a little depth here and there. And we can also paint some of this as well. While I'm here, I'm going to also put in just a little bit of shadows here and there. Where that might be. There we are. I'm going to bring this up just a little bit. We are going to try our very best to do Miss Dolly Parton justice. In the penciling of her, in the inking of her face. Remember, we're using permanent ink as we're going to be using watercolor today. If we use just a regular marker that you might find sitting on the desk somewhere, well, you would put on watercolor on top of it and you would see all of it begin to just wash away, my friends. This is not what we want. We would not want our painting to wash away. But here we are, my friends, going through. I think it'll be quite fun indeed. Dolly Parton's incredible literacy program, the Imagination Library, a wonderful thing near and dear to my heart, a wonderful thing, has now given over 100 million books to children. You can sign up for Miss Dolly Parton's literacy program, and from the time of birth until I believe 18, you will receive a free book each and every year. What a wonderful gift. This is a very important part. Do you know Miss Dolly Parton? She started life in a very difficult situations with not a lot of money, and so this is so very important to her to help each child to be able to succeed and find a love of reading as well. It has the best roller coasters. You must be thinking Dollywood. Wonderful. Well, here we are, my friends. I leave the most difficult part to last. Why is this? I do not know. I should probably jump right into it, but I'm a little nervous sometimes. Does this happen to you when you're going to something and you just do not, the moment to start something is a little bit nerve-wracking, a little bit of anxiety building? Well, I'm going to start, and early on, I would always start on the eyes, and I think this is what we will do today, but we wanted to get all the other things out of the way first. I'm going to go through here as best that I can and create the shape of the eyes. Now, I've already done something there that I'm not quite liking, but I think we will be fine. think we'll be fine. Her little eye over here is a little bit smaller, but the wonderful thing that will help us out, well, Miss Dolly Parton has very, very large eyelashes. So we are going to do a thicker line on the top and a little thicker line on the bottom. Now I would leave most eyelashes in this way. And we're going to put on this little thin line here. I will leave this thin line here, and this would be good to go, my friends. But this is not Dolly. What we will need to do now is put in her enormous eyelashes as well. We will go through here, a little curve here, and she has, I will not give anything away, but I'm thinking that these eyelashes might not be growing out of her face. As they go through here, they go along and a small and along and a small and along and a small and along and a small. I'm not quite sure that's how it works, but this is what she likes to do, at least for this time period. This is an older photo, certainly. And I'm going to build up this wing here just a little bit. Just bring that out just a little bit more, as I'm sure that she would want this to be done. Now I have gone through and I have penciled in the shape of her eyebrow. Do you see the shape of her eyebrow? You might not be able to see it very well, but I'm not going to go through and put in a line around where the eyebrows are. What I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the shape as the eyebrows would be. To shape out her eyebrows. Just to be a little bit more natural. So we have the shape, but instead of drawing, I'm going to bring this one over just a little bit. She kind of rounds out her eyebrows right there. There, how did I do, my friends? I'm trying my very best. Wonderful. Now we have here some different shapes just around her eye, her nose. And she has very many little smile lines. So delightful. It is always nice when you see an older individual and the wrinkles are starting to come in. Well, my friends, when you see an individual and you see all of the wrinkles right in here, well, it reminds me that this individual smiled a whole lot in life. Isn't that a wonderful, wonderful thing? Now, how are we going to do? We're going to do this. We're going to try our very best. The other thing that I have found to be quite difficult Well, it would be teeth. We must be so very gentle and light on the teeth with our inking. I think we're there, my friends. I think we've done it. There's a slight little line. We want to be very light on this one. Just right underneath there. And there's also a little mole right there as well. They do not call it a mole. What is it, my friends? It's a beauty mark. We put a little beauty mark on there. Wonderful. I'm also going to put just a few of those little smile lines as well. I think will be quite nice. I'm going to put in just a little bit more of a shadow right on the bottom there. Here I'm seeing quite a lot of darkness hiding through here. And also in here. Wonderful. I'm going to put just a slight little line in here. We want to be as light and delicate as we can, as we do not want her to appear to be tired. But she does have a little line underneath there as well. Well, there we are, my friends. I think that we might be able to start. I'm increasing just a little bit the smile lines right there. There, my friends. How did we do? I hope that we did quite well. And do you know, I am going to erase the pencil marks. How are we going to do? We're going to use a kneading eraser. Have you ever seen one of these? It's almost like a Play-Doh, a silly putty. We get to have a little bit of fun with it, my friends. We can knead it all about, and it's going to pick up all of the little pencil marks, the little pencil marks on the paper quite well indeed. Now I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to just roll it along on most of it. When we roll it, instead of drag it along the top of the paper, well, what will happen? It's not going to smudge any of the ink if it's not quite all of the way dry. But this ink dries quite fast. So I think that we will be quite well. And I'm not too concerned with there even being pencil lines there. I thought that I might keep some of them there, but I think it will be wonderful just to take them out as well. And I'm also going to put in just a little bit of ink along in here, just to make sure that her neck isn't appearing too big here. And I'm going to go through now. I tend to do this towards the end, but I'm going to quickly just go through and put in a much thicker line, just all around the edge. And you know what we forgot to do as well? We forgot to do our circle that we were adding to all of them. I will do that in just a moment. And here is our circle. How do we want to do it? I want to leave a little top to it. And this is what I will do, my friends. I'm going to do it in pencil quite light first, and if we do not like it, well, then we can fix it. And I think that's quite good. We will keep it, my friends. We will keep it. As steady as I possibly can. And there we are. Miss Dolly Parton, we have done it, my friends. The inking is done, the penciling, the sketching, the inking, everything is done and now ready for, what are we going to do? A paintbrush. It's time for the paintbrush. I'm so excited. Shall we give it a try? Now I'm going to start all of this. I'm going to start with the clothing. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm looking for a smaller brush. Do you see all of the brushes that I have, my friends? Look at all of the brushes hiding in here. What shall we use? What shall we use? Well, there's a smaller. Where's my... I see it down in there. It's hiding. Do you see this one here? It's hiding in here. It's a travel brush, but it's a number 2. Is this the one that I'm looking for? I do not know if this is the one I'm looking for. This is not. I'm looking for a number 4. This is what I like to start with. Where's my number 4? It's hiding here somewhere. Let's go with one of the larger ones. Where might it be? Well, here's another number 4. This is not the one I was looking for. But this will have to do. This is another Da Vinci. This is a travel one, made in Germany. This one here, if you're traveling, look how small it is. Then you can go through. And there it is, my friends. Your paintbrush is ready to go. Isn't it wonderful? Now I'm going to get the paintbrush wet. And then we will start from there. Very first thing that I'm going to do, let's go through, and I'm going to put some water all along where we are doing this denim. There's a lot of shadows on denim, a lot of textures in the painting on denim. Well, let's try our very best to make it feel like a denim jacket. Now I'm going to remove some of the excess water that I'm seeing here. We do not want a lot of water sitting on top. We just want it to flow, have our color flow through it a little bit better. We could even go through and blot it because it's not going to do a whole lot in what we're looking for. Now I'm going to go through with the lightest color first. The very lightest color is going to be our first color with watercolor. And on this one, the lightest color oftentimes will be the one that we're just not using as much as much pigment from the paint. You see, this will flow quite well now with the paper all wet. You'll notice I have to reapply, redip the paintbrush a little more often than I normally do with this smaller brush, as it just does not hold as much paint in it. But it still is holding quite a bit. We'll go through here as well. Well, there we have it, my friends. We have a little bit of a denim start to the color. Dolly Parton's birthday is January 19th. How wonderful. She was born in 1946. Well, Barbie, I thank you for putting out just a little bit more. From birth to 5 years old. What was this, my friend? Bethany, what are you saying? From birth to 5 years old. Was this where she was in poverty? Dolly Parton also has a theme park named Dollywood. Certainly. How much fun. Now I'm going to mix through just a little bit of a darker blue. Do you see the darker blue that I'm coming into here? Where might we have this? Well, we're going to put it in a couple different spots, but it's going to blend because it's all wet right now. And this is okay. There's a lot of inconsistency in the colors of the denim. We want it to blend just a little. There we are, and let's go through here, and I'm going to add quite a bit in here as well. And blow dryer. Now this one we want to use the blow dryer quite a bit as we applied so much water to it. See you next week, Santa. Well, my friend, I will see you next week. Thank you for stopping by. No, I'm so very happy that you're here. You are not late. You arrived right at the time you needed to arrive. And I'm happy to see you here. Now we're going to go through here, and I'm just putting in just a little bit more shadow along in some of these parts here. Quite a bit more shadow. We want it to have the feel of denim. We will try our very best. We'll put in some of the little lines in here as well. We will also later on add some shadows to it, but we want to also put some of this coloring throughout. Adding just a little bit more water, just so that it flows a little bit better here. And blow dryer. Wonderful. Hi Santa, can I ask what your favorite paints are? Well, there are so very many wonderful paints. I think that here's my thoughts, and I know that it might be a little different than some others that you might hear from. We all must start somewhere. With all of our supplies, we must start somewhere. Oftentimes, the very first thing that you're going to be coloring with is a crayon, or maybe a pencil. This is maybe a simple marker. This is where it all begins, to draw and paint and do all of these things. Simple paints and cheap paints, all very good as well. We all have to begin somewhere. But I would say that oftentimes my recommendation, when you are able, and if this is something you truly want to do, then I want you to understand that there are many limitations to the materials we use. And I have seen so very many that are discouraged with their art, not because of their skills and not because of their desires and creativity, but because of the lack of their materials. So I'm not a proponent that you go and spend a lot of money on your art supplies, but good art supplies are expensive at times. And sometimes I think if it's something you truly want to do, then I want you to look at it as an investment as well. Now, young ones, you're going to start off small, and it's wonderful to do so. I did not have professional paints when I was a little one, but I always try to do the very best that I can now. And it is also sometimes we know that if we're using something professional, we know that if something's not quite working, then we know where to point the finger, my friends. And this is a wonderful thing. But oftentimes I will say I've seen those that are discouraged because the paint is doing something different, or the paint is doing something that maybe it should not do. And this is because it's not a professional quality paint. And this is, we all must start somewhere. If you are able, then you want to be able to get the very best that you can afford, my friends. Or if you need to, put it on your Christmas wish list. Now I'm going to go through here and we're going to put in another layer of shadows. I want to darken it up. I'm going to be going through with a little darker. A little darker. Do you see how I've mixed the little darker? We went the light with a lot of water in this, and then the darker, and now the even darker than that. Well, this is where we're going to go with this one. I want this to be very dark right in here, where all of this hair is covering it in. Also, this very big spot right here, we're going to cover that as well with some extra additional shadows. And there's a lot, my friends, a lot of shadows along in this edge here, where it almost turns to black all along in the edge. And hopefully the goal, my friends, hopefully we have done something that truly feels like it is, that it is denim. This is what my hope is. We want a lot of dark in this little spot here too. Anytime that you're using your paintbrush and you see that it's not a clean line, it's because the brush is too dry. We must add in just a little bit of moisture, and then it will begin to move just a little bit more on the paper. Just like this. My goodness, I keep hitting the camera as well. I will try my best. I think it's my hat. It's getting in the way. There it is. I think that we are going to now use the blow dryer and start on something else. And also, while I'm thinking of it, the picture that I am seeing, that I'm going with here, using for our inspiration, well, something that I am, see the lighter blue that I'm doing here, my friends? Can you see it in that picture? I think you can. I'm going to add just a little bit more of this blue as well. And what I'm going to do is, the picture that I'm using, she has a wonderful blue sky behind her. This is what I'm going to use as our color of our circle. It's not very dark. There we are. Just so that it's done. We might, once it's all done, we might add just a little bit more to it. But for right now, I think this will work. Going all the way through here. And there we have it. Just a slight little blue. And blow dryer. And I'm also, now that I'm thinking of it, I'm going to go through and add just a little bit more of that very dark blue. Is this one watered down just a little bit? And I want a lot of dark right in here. I'll put some more in here as well. I'm going to go through here with that darker texture, and we're just going to put in just a little bit of textures here and there. You see this here? We can use our finger here. Wonderful. Now the next thing that I'm going to do, I want to do the scarf, and we're going to do this in quite a few little steps as well. I'm looking at the colors. I think that I'm going to add in a color to it. Overall color is going to be a very, very light orange. A very, very light orange. We do not want a whole lot here. There must be a lot of water in this. And we're going to basically tone this. Let's go through and blow dry it just one more time, just to be safe, that the blue is not going to run all over the place. Now here we go, we're going to go through here and add in just a little bit of that. A little bit of that yellow. I do not like to leave pure white anywhere. And I'm not sure if you can see it through your screen, but it truly makes a difference. So I'm going to go through here. We're adding in just a little bit here and there. It's very light. It does not need to be quite dark. We just do not want it quite white. Can you see it just a little bit there? And we'll go through here just a little bit here and there. Now the pattern on her scarf is also a pattern on her shirt. And so we're going to do this at the same time. And it's not very much. There's not a lot of color there. But we're going to go through now with our smaller paintbrush, and we're going to add in some of the other colors that are here. Now I'm going to go through with a little bit of yellows. Oh, we still have a little blue in our brush. We will try our very best not to do that. We'll go through with a little bit of yellows, and we'll go through with a little bit of orange. And the orange also, there's a little hint of red in it. Just a hint. And what we're going to do here very lightly is we're going to go through here and just paint some shapes here. It's a little bit of a floral look to it from what I'm seeing. So we're going to go through and paint just some little marks here and there as part of a floral look that she has going on. And what will happen also, my friends, when we're going through this, is because we have not used the blow dryer yet, it will start to blend out just a little bit. This is what we're looking for. Now blow dryer. Wonderful. I'm going to go through and add just a little bit more orange. It's a slightly different color now. I'm going to go through here and paint just here and there, creating this colors that we're looking for. And I'm also seeing just a little slight little part here and there. I'm seeing a blue. So we're going to blow dry this one. We're going to go through and add just a little bit of blue. We can use this color we've already had, as it's so very similar. Just a few little spots here. It's not a lot. Just a few little spots in there. And we will also remember we will put in some shadows as well later on. Wonderful. And blow dryer. Actually, let's do a little bit more. I'm seeing here there's a little bit more blue right in this area here. And blow dryer. And I'm also noticing a few little spots. I want a little bit of a brighter blue. Just in a few little edges here. Just a little accent blue in there as well. Wonderful. How's everyone doing today? I hope that you're doing well. Wow, so far so good. Noah, thank you for your kindness. Hello, Santa in chat. Well, hello there, my friend. Having trouble hearing you. Can you hear me, my friends? Can you not hear me? Oh, I hope that you can hear me. Now I'm going to go through. Can you see this little blue, light blue here? I'm going to add in just a little bit more water. And we're going to go through. I'm going to add in, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to add in just a little bit of blue into her eyes. I'm going to do just a slight little touch of yellow and blue. I'm going to add it in here on her teeth as well. We're just knocking down the brightness just a little. It does not need to be a lot. We'll be able to add just a little bit more later on. I want to finish this shirt as well. I'm seeing it as it's kind of a red orange, a very dark, almost a we will do the very best that we can. Let's see if we can do this here. There it is. And blow dryer. I'm going to go through here and just a little bit darker. I'm going to go through here as best I can. We're going to put in just a little bit of a shadow here, just along the edge of this. It might not be something that you can even see, but I promise it's there. Just along the edge. Wonderful. Now also, I've said it before, but I'm always using 2 cups when I'm cleaning my brushes. I'm using 1 cup to get the majority of the water out, or the paint out, the color out, and then the final cup stays relatively clean, just to make sure that we're starting each time with a good color. When we're adding water, we want to make sure that we're adding in just a little bit. And here I want to show you something too. If you do not have a color wheel, do you see the color wheel here? I think it's quite nice. This is something that can help you out when you're not knowing exactly what can happen, what can take place. So here we're going to look through. Do you see here, if we add blue, the outside edge, if we add blue to blue, look what we have. We have blue. Now if we add yellow to blue, well then we get green. If we're going to mix this blue-green with this red, we're going to get a purple. Do you see how this works? Now I'm going to go over to the yellows. We're dealing with her hair, right? So here we see that we're adding in a little bit of white, and we can get our yellow as well. Adding just a little bit of white to the orange, and we're getting also a very light color in her hair. So if you're ever having a hard time deciding, you know, what is going to work with what, well, this might be able to help you out. Now with watercolor, you could also think of it as how much paint you're using in conjunction with the water, because it will serve a similar thing as adding white to the paint as well. You're everywhere. Bethany is always everywhere. She's all everywhere all the time. So I'm going to go through here, and we're adding in some yellow to her hair. And remember, my friends, this will definitely lighten up as it dries. But we want to get it started, all this wonderful hair. Going to add in another little bit more water. This is quite bright, but we're going to tone it down as we go. My goodness. There we are. Wonderful. And blow dryer. Kind of like your own Christmas. Certainly, certainly. You have an impressive palette. Someone asked what my favorite paint was, and I forgot to answer it as I was talking about the importance of the quality of paint and how we all start somewhere, and wherever you're starting is just a perfect place to start. But my very favorite, I have lots of different brands that I use, but oftentimes the most paint that you're seeing me paint is this palette here. This palette is from, you can't see it very well, but it's Schminke. 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 It is a German brand. It is a wonderful professional watercolor palette. But also I have quite a few little paints that I'm using as well to get specific colors, and these here most oftentimes are the Winsor and Newton, right? Wonderful paints. Now the gouache that I'm using, these wonderful gouache are wonderful. What is the name of this one? This is Holbein is the gouache that I use, and I have a few colors in the Winsor and Newton and gouache as well. Like I like their permanent white, which is quite nice. Now moving on, I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to do just a touch of blue. What is, if we look at the yellow, let's see what we're adding in here. If we go through here, actually let's go through with a little bit of orange as well. I'm going to blend in just a little bit of orange. I'm seeing quite a bit of orange in the tones as well in her hair. And this orange color, as we're adding in the yellow, well, it will give us more of a golden tone as well. Did I blow dry this? I'm pretty sure I did. So this will give us more of our golden tone, which we want. I'm going to go through, just add in just a little bit more orange in here. Everywhere we're seeing where the shadows might be adding in, well, we're going to go through here and just put in just a little bit of orange there as well. And if we go a little too far, well, we can always change it. I'm noticing this little spot here is a little too much for me, but I can go through and we can just lift a little bit of it up. We're also going to add quite a bit when we go into adding in our shadows as well. So do not fear, my friends. The next thing on my list that I'm going to do is we're going to start in on her skin. And I'm going to go through and start with just a clean little spot on my palette. This is another little moment here when we're talking about what we are comfortable with. Well, I know that Mr. Scott Sava and so many artists, they will layer the colors in. I think this is a wonderful thing. It's not something that I'm quite good with, but we are going to layer colors, but we're going to mix a little bit as well, and hopefully you can see this take place just a little bit. I'm also noticing that there's still a little bit of color in my brush. There we are. So we're going to go through here. I'm going to add in some yellow. Do you see the yellow? It's a little darker on the screen. It's quite a bright yellow as well. From here we're going to add in a little bit of red. Do you see the red that is adding in now? And we're going to add in also just a little bit of blue. And then it begins just a little mixing process of finding the balance of what we're looking for. How it might go across on the page. Now I'm going to go through here, just a little bit more yellow, a little bit more red. Now we have quite a brightness to it. But if we add in just a little bit of water, maybe just a little bit more yellow, a little bit more red. See, what we're doing is we're creating some colors that we're going to be able to layer on later. Just a little bit of yellow there. It always will appear a little darker than normal, but do you see we have 3 different distinct colors here? I'm going to go through And this is all trial and error, my friends. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through and put in just a little bit of water all along where her skin is. I'm leaving just a slight little spot around the edge where we're not quite touching everything. And also I always add in color into the lips as well, the skin tone. Now, is this how it's supposed to be done? Well, I don't know, my friends. I don't know what it's supposed to be, anything, but I just am learning and trying new things and going from there. Well, there we are, my friends. We're going to start. Now, this is very light. You do not want to be very dark here. I'm going to go through here and let's add in just a little bit here. And you will see we will make it all the way to the edge. I'm going to go through here as well. You see, we're just layering through just a little bit here and there. I've given her just a little bit more color in her cheeks. And we will go from there. I'm going to put in just a little bit more color right in her chin area as well. And it will blend out. And her nose. And I'll put in a little more color in her lips right now too. Although we will add quite a bit in her lips. And I'm going to change how we do that just a little bit. And blow dryer. You'll see it lighten right on up. My favorite color is Windsor Orange, a beautiful color. I also have the white gouache for the highlights. Also very important. Sometimes we're not dealing with just one color or one type of paint. Sometimes it works well to have a lot of different types of paint in different types of mediums. You might use pencil, you might use inks, and you might use gouache and watercolor all in the same piece. There's no rule that says that you have to stick with one thing. Gouache is wonderful because you can add a lighter color on top of a darker color. This does not quite work in watercolor unless you remove some of the darker color as well. Now I'm going to go through here and add in just a little bit of blue We're going to darken this up. I'm also going to add in just a little bit of, just a slight bit of Payne's Gray. I'm going to go through here and add in her eyes. Now if you have a brush of this size and you put in a lot of paint on there, well, you can always go back with a dry brush. If you dry it and touch that area, it's going to lift some of that color back up until you get to the right thing that you're looking for. I believe he moved his camera to show us the palette. Well, I didn't move the camera. Are you able to see it all? I hope that you're able to see it. Is this how it works? Do you have a good view of things, my friends? I was wanting to let you see a little bit of the mixing of the colors as well. I'm going to go through here and we're going to put in some more colors. Now where might we find these colors? Well, there's definitely a lot of color along in here. All along in here as well. And along in here. Where might it be? We're going to go through underneath her neck. It's a lot of shadow along in here. A lot of shadow along in here as well. And underneath her hair. And we might do quite a few passes on this, my friends. And there's a lot of shadow just along in here as well. Now we're going to go through here and put in some shadows along in here. And some shadows along in here. We have some shadows along this edge in here as well. And also along in here. We're adding in some more shadows where we had them before, but they've lightened up. We're going to continue just adding and layering as we go through. And remember, what I'm putting down right now is still wet, so it will lighten up as well. And on all of this, let's do a little blow dryer. I'm going to go through with just a little water and more of this darker color. And I'm going to put just another little layer just all over all of it, just to darken it up just a little bit. And blow dryer. I'm going to go through and we're still adding more shadows, my friends. I'm going to go through and add also just a little bit more. We're going to add in just a little bit of magenta, just lightly into the color. A little bit more water. Let's blow dry this one. With a little bit more water, I'm going to add in just a little bit more color in her nose. We don't want to move that brush around a whole lot because it will start to move things. This we do not want. And blow dryer. Remember, it always lightens up as it goes. Now I'm going to go through and let's mix a little bit. I'm going to switch over. Where's the little brush? We want the little one. Now I'm looking at the colors here. We have a little bit of a peach. Now we're going to start this fairly lightly. You see the colors that we've mixed? You see that color there? This is what we're going to add in. To her lips. Now we will go through here. We're going to add in, there's a little bit of shadow in the edge here, where that will darken up. There's a lot of shadows all along her lip there, and then along the top in here as well. And blow dryer. And I'm going to add just a slight touch of blue. I'm going to do just a little bit along the bottom there. And we're going to add in also add in also a little bit of highlights in here later. And blow dryer. We're going to go through here, and I'm going to add in now some of our shadows. Yes, we can see it perfectly well. Wonderful. And I hope that you can hear me, my friends. I had someone on a video say that the audio on the live stream is a little light. Well, I think that we need to be able to, I'm hoping that you are able to hear me quite well. If I need to, I certainly can speak a little bit louder. If this is what we're needing. Now I'm going to move this over just a moment so that you can see me mix this. Now we've added in a lot of colors here that is a darkening. Does it make sense? Here it is. It's a darkening, my friends, of the color that we're using. So if we are at a red, well then the shadow of the red is going to be a darker red. There might be a color cast, right? So let's say that it is a photograph of an individual standing outside on a bright day. Oftentimes, if you look at the whites of the eyes, they will be blue. Why is it? Well, it's because the white is reflecting the blue of the sky. If you're sitting in a forest and you are taking a picture in the day, your eyes might reflect a little bit of the greens that are in the forest. This is how it is, a wonderful thing. So one of the things that I am doing is I'm also adding in a little bit of a shadow cast as well. I like to mix in purple and blue, a darker purple and blue. But I'm going to lean a little bit more towards the blues today. Now I have my purple here. Do you see the mixing that's taking place? I have the purple here, and I have the blue here as well. And this is I think a wonderful shadow. We can even give it a little touch of Payne's gray. Now, depending on what we're wanting, this will work quite well for the shadows. But we want to be quite delicate in this one. Quite delicate indeed. So where are the shadows going to go? I'm going to put a shadow all along in here. Now, do you see it's not a very dark shadow, but it's still a shadow nonetheless. I'm going to put a shadow all along in there. Do you see it? I'm going to put a shadow all in there. I'm going to put a shadow along in the little moments there of the shadows of the shirt. I'm going to put another shadow along in here. And this you might not be able to catch on all of it, but I promise it's there. We're also going to put a shadow along in these little spots here. Now this one you might be able to see just a little bit more. Do you see the shadow taking place? We'll put a shadow along in there as well. Where's the shadows? Well, the shadows, all of these lines here, I put there because there's a slight shadow there as well. Now you would think that putting blue on her face is not going to be good, but I promise you in the end it will work out. We're going to put in a shadow also, all along in here. We're going to put in a shadow all along in here as well. And a shadow along in there. How low do we go? I'm going to put in a shadow right underneath here as well. And I think that you'll notice that it's the layering that begins to make things work. I'm going to put in a shadow along in here and along in here as well. And And here's an interesting shadow that you might not think of. I'm going to put in a shadow on her teeth towards the back as they go back, and I'm going to put in a shadow along the edge there as well, where her lips are casting a shadow. Where else are we putting shadows? Well, I'm going to put in a shadow along the top of her eyes. As there's a shadow that is cast there as well. I'm going to put in a shadow all along in here as this drops down the hair and along in here. Now we also can go through and add in some shadows here and there in her hair. Does not need to be a lot, but it's just a little shadow here and there where we might see some shadows taking place. You see how it turns out? The shadows are quite magical. Certainly. There's so very much that can take place. And blow dryer. I can see fine, said the wonderful. Yep, we can hear you perfectly fine. Wonderful. Santa, you need to switch the camera back. My goodness. Did you not see all the shadows taking place? Well, there they are. It was magical. You had a magical view of the shadows. Now, poof, they're done. Now, I am here. I would put maybe a little bit of shadow in here, but it's not there in the picture. She has this little part of, there's a bone that sticks out right there, and the light hits it, and it brightens it up. And in the picture, well, Miss Dolly Parton has put in a little shimmer and glittery in her eye makeup that is making that shimmer just a little bit more as well. But where was the shadows? Well, we added in some blue shadows all along in these edges. We're going to put in a little bit more as well, right in here, right in there. It does not need to be a lot. We're going to put in a little blue shadow on her nose that casts down also as well there. Do you see how it works? Now I'm going to slightly lighten that up just a little bit. And here is just about looking and seeing if we need to add more. Well, I'm going to put in just a little bit more there. And we're going to put in just a little bit more in there as well. And a little bit more there. And I'm going to put in just a little bit more in here as well. Just right at the edge. Just creating just a little bit more contrast. Well, there it is, my friends. I think that we're pretty much done. We might put in some highlights here and there. You know what I'm going to put in also, I'm seeing here. Just a little bit of shadow. We want a little bit of shadow all along in this edge here. And some extra right down there. And I nearly forgot, my friends. We also want to put in, we'll switch to our smaller paintbrush. I'm going to go through here and we're going to brighten up some bright yellow. We want a lot of brightness on this one. And I'll put in just a little bit of orange. We don't want a lot of paint on the brush because we don't want it to run. But I'm going to go through here and paint the earrings here. There it is. Now, what is next? Well, we're going to go through and let's put in some highlights with our Uni-Ball Signo, my friends. Isn't it wonderful? If we can hear you, wonderful. The shadows look lovely. Wonderful, wonderful. Now I'm going to go through and we're going to put in some highlights. Where are the highlights? Well, there's a little button here. I'm going to put a little highlight on. If our wonderful pin will work. There's a little highlight there. There's some little highlights in here that I'm going to, just little taps here and there to highlight this edge, and along in here as well. Along in there as well. Just little highlights here and there. You see how it works? Hopefully you can see it. Now there's not one here, but I'm going to put just a little highlight just along in here as well. Just a slight little one. Good. Now we have another little highlight here on the lips. Just a little shine that's on the lips, that's right there. There's also another little highlight here on the edge of the nose. And I'm going to put just a little, it's not there, but I'm going to put just a little bit of highlights along in here as well. Now there's a little highlight here, just right on where the, going to put in a little bit of sparkliness right there as well. And there's a little highlight along in here. And a little highlight along in there. Now I'm going to go through here. Let's do this little outline. This dolly is upside down. And I'm going to go through and put in some highlights also. I'm going to switch pens. We're going to put some highlights in her hair. Wonderful. The last little highlight, let's put in a little highlight on the earrings. And then we're going to put in just a slight little highlight also. Actually, do you know what I'm looking at? I'm going to put a little bit more shadow on the eyes. Let's blow dry all of this. going to go through. I want to put in just a little extra. I want it even darker than that. There we are. And blow dryer. Now I will go through and we can put in just a little slight highlight in her eyes. I keep bumping the camera. I think it's about time to put in a... There we are. How is it, my friends? How did we do? Let's see here. I'm looking at the picture. Let's see if we can show you a little bit more of how it looks in person. I will try my best. That's a little better. Well, there it is, my friends. This is our inspiring individual from A to Z for the letter D. We have Miss Dolly Parton. What a wonderful individual that she is, with a heart of gold, as I say. She has done so very many different things to be able to think of others through compassion and using her heart and her resources to better the lives of truly millions of people. This is a wonderful, wonderful thing. This is the choice that we have made here for the letter D. And I asked quite a few of you, or quite a few of you responded on what letter D could be. And in the back of my mind, I must confess, my friends, I always knew that it would be Dolly for the letter D, as she continues to also inspire me with her kindness and compassion in giving to others, a very important thing. Now, my friends, I am still trying to figure out what might be the next one, so let me know when the video is posted what the letter E might be. Now, there's a slight chance that I might not be here for next Tuesday, but I will try my very best to be here, but you know where to find me. My friends, I wish you all good things. Truly all good things. Thank you for joining me today. It was a little bit longer, but I think that we deserve to make sure that we did this one quite well. My friends, I wish you all good things. May your hearts be filled with love and joy and peace and happiness. May you find a little inspiration to try something new and to create and be creative. We are all creative. This is how we are, my friends. It is within us. And oftentimes when we see individuals that are trying something and they might hear a comment that is rather critical, well, then all of a sudden they think that they are not good at something, and it will never be this way. And this is certainly not the case. I encourage all of you to try new things and then to practice what brings you joy. For me, art brings me joy, and I will continue to practice it as a student of art to learn to be better at it each day. My friends, be kind to one another, be kind to yourself, and know above all, my friends, that I send you my love and I believe in each of you. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon, my friends. Now it's time to make a little video all about Dolly. I cannot wait for you to watch it. I'll see you soon.